Guys, it might be a little bit of a long one today, but bear with me, I promise. It's super interesting. This is on the history and domestication of dogs. 1914 was the first discovery of Paleolithic people with dogs. The remains were a dog, a man, and a woman, along with several decorated objects, and was from around 14,000 years ago. There's evidence that this little dog was cared for in the weeks leading up to its death. Thus, it seems that dogs have always had a special place in human communities. As soon as we find skeletal remains of modern dogs, they're involved in burials. And these dog burials were just like human burials, buried with necklaces and adornments and with the families of those that they had lived with in life, just like humans were. The earliest evidence that we have of a human-canine relationship is from around 30,000 years ago. This is a trackway of a small child and a dog walking side by side. They are walking in a cave that was used for drawing, and the child was carrying a torch, according to doglistener.tv. I feel like this image is just awe-inspiring. Honestly, it gives such a special glimpse into our past. According to the researchers published on PubMed.gov, the first genetic evidence comes from around 13 to 17,000 years ago, with some dating it even as far back as 40,000 years. This makes dogs the first domesticated species. To put this into context, human civilization as we know it started around 12,000 years ago, with archaeological, dental, and genetic evidence to back this up from humans and our pathogens, with agriculture only taking a serious hold around 10,000 years ago in terms of very broad populations. So dogs came before our modern age by quite a bit. We don't know where or when they were actually first domesticated, despite them having such a prevalent role in our lives. Some scientists think it goes back quite a ways. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly when and where they were domesticated because of the genetic muddying that crossbreeding causes. Some breeds can be traced back further than others. We all know, everyone who has an Akita says, I have a wolf. But we cannot actually trace their genetic data all the way back to their wolf ancestors. Because we're looking for genetic mutations that changed, the initial genetic mutations that we can essentially say, this is a dog now and not a wolf. Part of this genetic mutation was through their diet and through the neotenous appearance that they have, compared to wolves. Dogs look like wolf puppies. And we've kind of selected those traits, as well as dogs being able to eat fruits and vegetables, which wolves are not able to. This relationship was built, they think, maybe in Asia. Others say that they were domesticated twice in Asia and Europe or the Near East, but wherever they were from, this lineage is gone now, so we'll likely never know. This relationship was facilitated through communication and was a huge benefit for the humans that managed to develop these relationships. It enabled them to be better at hunting, get more food, and it's easy to understand how this kind of domestication process happened. The aggressive dogs were chased out or killed, and the nice ones were allowed to stay around more, get more food, and likely reproduce more, producing dogs eventually. The nice ones were rewarded. That's how it went. Dogs, of course, came with humans to the New World as well around 10,000 years ago, and there was this whole different lineage of dogs that separated pretty early on in the domestication process. This line is now gone, though. driven to extinction by European settlers and their dogs. And you can find the source for this on Live Science. PubMed has an article, Human-like social skills in dogs? Dogs are even better at understanding us than other primates. For example, pointing. If you have a dog who is not a complete ding-dong like mine, you can point to something and they might look at it. And they also have an understanding of, oh, I can see this thing, but that human can't, which is kind of a more complex cognitive process. This ability to communicate and dogs' ability to pick up on what we're trying to say is even stronger between humans and dogs than humans and other primates. Primates and humans can't communicate as well as dogs and humans can. The study of convergent evolution provides an exciting opportunity to gain further insights into the evolutionary processes leading to human-like forms of cooperation and communication. Dog-human connection in evolution on the dog-human connection in evolution on neuroanthropology.net posits that the weirdest thing about the whole domestication idea, especially with dogs, is that we don't see any other mammals doing this. This kind of struck me because, yeah, we don't. The author posits that the continuation of a long-term evolutionary this is a continuation of a long-term evolutionary project by our species to study animals. First we were prey for them, and later as predators ourselves. There's evidence that we weren't just domesticating to get more food, as the first animals domesticated were not food sources, but a fellow predator and scavenger, the wolf. Humans had been observing these animals likely for millennia, and turn them into living tools. Likely. These are just as well as we can guess, because we can't go back and ask them. Humans and dogs also are a little bit different even than any other domesticated animals. And it's likely that dogs may have, done their own part in the human-dog relationship. They may have initiated a process that led to their domestication by living alongside with humans and slowly adapting to our life with our type, rather than simply being the passive victims of our domestication process. Now, since civilization has began, dogs' closeness has not fallen away by any means. In fact, in many of our religions, they are our guides to the afterlife, or have some kind of insight to the afterlife that humans cannot perceive. Considering our relationship with dogs, this is very interesting because that's what they do for us. They help us find things that we can't. So on Psychopomp's side, Psychopomp's guide, Psychopomps from around the world, many Psychopomps come to mind. Anubis, Cerberus, Othros, Yama, Bahariva. Many of these are even important names today. These dogs are seen in African religions all around Asia, India, the Middle East, Europe, and even Native American mythology. Even in some Catholic texts, we can see this in Christianity as well. This is a through line in modern humanity, really. A lot of people have pets, especially in our culture. These faithful companions in life are well known to continue their relationship after death. There are many stories of dogs acting as spirit guides, from the Indo-European traditions to the ancient Aztecs to the Mesoamericans. Now, I've always wondered what other relationship, excuse me, to other species our ancestors had. In the 188,000 years before the modern age, I wonder if there were other relationships with animals that are now long gone. Just like there's no way to know if a past civilization existed, which never came into its Bronze Age anywhere in history, or if anyone could write before 7,000 years ago, there's likely no way to know. But it sure led to a nice outcome, because we all love dogs. They're our greatest companions, and I know I'm extremely grateful for my dog. I know this was long, but thank you for listening. This was my last one. Peace.